The Migaku browser extension has a ton of features, and how exactly you use each of them is often left up to the learner. Today, let's take a look at one of our most prominent features, learning statuses, and talk about what they are and how the learning status of a word can influence your learning. Learning statuses are different labels ascribed to a word to inform both the extension and you how well you know a certain word. There are 5 statuses in total. Every word starts as unknown. This means you haven't seen the word yet and is completely new to you. This is indicated by a red underline below the word. In the pop-up dictionary, you can also see the red unknown at the bottom right corner of the window. When you create a card for a word and study the card at least once, the status of the word automatically changes to learning. This is indicated by a yellow underline or the yellow learning at the bottom of the pop-up dictionary window. The interval of every card you learn in Migaku memory will get longer over time, the more often you get a card correct. Once the interval of a card reaches 21 days or more, meaning the time between reviews is at least 21 days, the target word of the card will be considered known. This status does not receive an underline in text, but when you hover over a known word, you can see a green line. Likewise, in the pop-up dictionary, you see the green known status mirrored as well. Next, we have the ignored status. This status is not set by Migaku, but by you. It can be used for words you don't want to learn and tells Migaku that this word should be ignored and not counted as a known word. This status is often used for names of people and places, but can be used for really anything you don't want to add to the count of your learned words. This status does not get an underline in text, but when a word is hovered, you can see a gray underline, and in the pop-up dictionary, you can see the gray ignored status as well. Lastly, we have tracking. This is also a status you can manually set for words that you would like to keep an eye on. These could be words you just learned and want to stick out a little bit more in text, or words that you have problems with and want to pay extra close attention to when they appear. In text, these words are underlined in purple and have a small, cute paw icon below the underline. In the pop-up dictionary, you can see the purple tracked status next to the usual word status as well. But what do we do with all of those underlines and icons? Let's talk about each of them. Our red unknown status can not only be used to instantly recognize whether you know a word or not, but also to gauge the overall difficulty of not just a single sentence, but also whole pages and books. For example, when opening a page of an article and you see a ton of red, this can signal to you that the current page might be a bit above your level as it contains too many unknown words. If you're trying to learn more intensively and want to look up a lot of words, you can use this to help you find content that has enough new information for you. So, depending on the goal of your reading, you can use this visual cue to your own benefit. While the above are benefits of gauging a large amount of content, it also comes in handy at the sentence level. One of the fundamental concepts of well-made learning cards is that one card should only ever be used to test the recall of one piece of information. This is extremely important. The red unknown status helps you gauge if a sentence meets this criteria at a glance. Your yellow learning status can best be used to know what words to focus on while engaging with content in your target language. When you see a word that is underlined in yellow, you should try to pay extra close attention. Whenever you encounter one of these words, take your time. Perhaps reread or consider rereading the sentence a few times. Make sure you understand how the word is used and what the sentence means. This is your time to pick out nuances and new facets of words you already have a basic understanding of. Even if you don't consciously notice these nuances, subconsciously you will gain more familiarity with the word. Our green known status does not require you to change anything in how you engage with content, and the same applies to the gray ignored status. As mentioned before, the ignored status is mostly used to ignore names of people and places, so they do not get counted as unknown words. The purple tracking status has to be set manually. You can do so in the pop-up dictionary by pressing the small tracking button. This status is very versatile and can be used for literally anything you want, but generally the idea is to use it for words you want to keep an eye on. These are normally words that you know you have difficulty with, like forgetting their meaning or forgetting their reading. Other uses include trying to get a better sense of the frequency of a word, whether in a single piece of media or in general. It can also be used to pay more attention to the words that appear around a tracked word, which are known as collocations. But overall, whenever you feel like you should probably pay a bit closer attention to a specific word, you can mark it as track, make them stand out. We've talked a lot about how the status can be utilized when immersing or making cards, but they are also very useful for another thing, motivation. It's nice to have a concrete measure of your progress as you learn a language, which can be a journey of years or even a lifetime. The gains in language learning are very incremental, and especially later on, it can start to feel like your daily progress doesn't amount to much, if anything. However, seeing the number of known words climb can show you that you really are still improving, even if you subjectively feel like you've stagnated. As any seasoned language learner will tell you, consistency is key, and motivation is a huge part of that. As you can see, learning statuses are not just funny colors that make your screen more happy, but can be a useful tool to guide your learning and tell you how to engage with a specific piece of content. There are more features we want to put a spotlight on, so stay tuned for our next videos. But that is all for today. If you found this video helpful, leave a like, comment and subscribe. If you want to know more about Migaku, you can visit our website at migaku.com. And as always, we will see you in the next video.